Hey guys, this is Big Ben here, Camping World in Gander RV. Today I want to talk about setting up your brake controller. So you got a new camper, you already have a brake controller in your truck, or you got one installed, because anything, like in Wisconsin, anything over 3,500 pounds, if it has electric brakes on the camper, you got to have the brake controller. And it just makes sense, because it's going to help when you put on the brakes. The camper is not going to be pushing your tow vehicle. Otherwise, you're going to ruin the brakes on your tow vehicle or wear them out faster, because you have all that weight pushing, you're stopping everything with your tow vehicle brakes. You don't want to do that. You have brakes on the camper, so let's use them. So when you're setting up the brake controller, and it's different for each camper, so if you have one camper and then you're trying to tow a different one, you got to reset it up, because one might be heavier than the other, that kind of thing. And so you're going to put your gain on your brake controller to 75% of max. Not max, but 75%. Find a nice level road where it's quiet, or a big parking lot. Get to about 25 miles an hour, put on your brakes. If the brakes lock up on the camper, you have too much gain, so you want to lower it down. Just do one click at a time. Try it again. If that time they do not lock up, then you're golden. You want to be one click below where your brakes lock up, and that way you know that if you get an emergency situation where you really have to hammer the brakes, that they will, lock and brake properly. You don't want to go all the way to the max though, because if you do that, the brakes will lock in right away. Maybe just as soon as you touch your brake pedal, and you could get swaying around with the camper, could swing over and hit something or someone, and that you don't want to do. The other things to look out for, let's say you put the brake on, you have the brake controller hooked up, you know there's power there and everything, and you have no drag, so there's nothing, you can feel it in your truck when the brakes kick on, because it kind of drags behind you a little bit. You have nothing. That means, well, maybe you better get your brake controller checked, or if you had, some drag before, but now you don't, another time get your brakes checked on your camper. Now there are some instances where there's just not enough power to engage the brakes in the camper fully, so you're getting some drag, but you'll never lock up. That can happen on some campers, so that's something to be aware of. Once again, just to be cautious, you may want to get those checked out too. So that's really the thing. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. And just remember, each camper that you pull, they're not all going to be the same. You have to check them out. It's because it kind of goes by weight and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty simple. That's a pretty easy process. Let's do it each time. And one click below where the brake or the tires lock up is where you want to be safe.